Hey everybody, this is Dr. Flight. I hope you're doing great today. Welcome to week 13 of our MBA 631 marketing strategy course. We're well on our way towards the last phase of the course. Our last 3 weeks of content begin this week, and the week is primarily focused on pricing and pricing models. So what I'll do is, and again, you're familiar with Moodle, and so if we go into our pricing area, so when we talk about pricing, I do want to emphasize that there are a number of different ways to price, and so the way I usually focus this chapter or this content is on demand-based pricing strategies and cost-based pricing strategies, and they're really two different philosophies in how the price is set. In many companies, you they will use a cost-based pricing strategy where they'll identify a per unit cost, and then through some internal mechanism identify what they would like their profit margin to be. And so as a result, they'll basically add a profit margin to cost and come at a price like that. One of the things to consider is that there's really four or five really significant inputs when you think about setting a price. One would be your costs, like I mentioned. Just you have to understand what your cost structure is before you can set a price. Another would be your company's core objectives or main objectives as they set a pricing strategy. Oftentimes we can use price to manipulate the market, and we want to think about how price is going to impact our strategy overall in terms of what we want to accomplish. So there's a like an objective or a goal usually assigned to what we want to accomplish when we set price. Another factor will be our competitors. Certainly, if you're in a highly competitive environment with lots of close substitutes, then you're going to be impacted by what they charge, and that will impact what you can therefore charge in the marketplace. Another consideration is a fourth thing to think about are your supply partners and the partners you do business with. When you change your price, it impacts their ability to make profit as well. So your channel partners or your supply partners, external collaborators like that would be folks that you focus on. And then finally, your customers, of course. We focus on like how price sensitive customers are, what customers are willing to pay. So one of the metrics we look at carefully when we identify and analyze a market segment is their capacity to pay and what price they would pay at and how price sensitive they are. So customers would be a fifth component then. And so all five of these really go into a pricing decision. So when we start thinking about, how are we going to set price, we want to take into account the assessment of all of those five different areas. And then we'll go into the pricing mechanism. Now, demand-based pricing is one of the concepts where we look at what the demand curve looks like, and then use a strategy to sort of exploit that curve in some way, shape, or form. So there's a bit of strategy and a bit of work to do in that area. And one of the extensions of demand-based pricing strategy deals with being able to let your price float or change dynamically. So it's called dynamic pricing, and we see a lot of different applications today in the digital world, especially where prices are allowed to fluctuate based on individual consumers. And so there's some articles there that really talked about that. So let's just get into this week's work then. It's week 13th, and so there's a number of different chapters in the text, or the same chapter that kind of goes through marketing strategy, the marketing mix elements that are there. We really want to focus though on pricing models, assessing the pricing situation, and then looking at the different ways we can price products. There are going to be some interesting articles. I think you'll find the surge pricing article, pricing. There's an Uber article that talks about pricing where they manipulate demand and supply at the same time by changing price. Also, you'll see auction pricing, but you'll also see like the many sports teams do this now where there's some type of a dynamic pricing model used even with season tickets. They're going away from a fixed rate system. So in other words, you walk into a store, you usually see a price on the shelf. Well, imagine if we could change that price to match what a customer is willing to pay. Some customers will be willing to pay more, some less, but if we allow the price to flex and change, then we're able to capture a lot more market efficiency and profit by actually doing that. Okay, so this is a big so a lot goes into pricing again. It's one of the four P's. It's also one of those elements that we are able to change the quickest, the most rapidly, and that's an important concept. So, anyways, have fun this week. Again, we have so last week was a test, which I'm in the middle of working on getting grades done and have a quicker turnaround on those, ideally, so that we can go right into this section of three weeks, and then we'll have our final assessment, and then we'll finish. That'll be it. We won't go any further. So, anyways, I hope you're having a great week. Hope you enjoy this content quite a bit. And anyways, let me know what you think, and have a good week. Take care.